We live, man. We live in the cut. We live in the cut, man. Hey, I better not be lagging. Shows me like I'm lagging on here. Better not be lagging. Y'all let me know in the chat, man. I hope. How's everyone doing on this Saturday night, man? Saturday night live. Saturday night live. It's been a little while. It's been a little while since we've been live. But I'm glad to say that we back. Glad to say we able to jump on this live stream, man. It's been a busy month for me, man. But either way, last time we talked on live, the Giants were sitting at 2 wins, and this time around, the Giants are still sitting at 2 wins. Not much has changed. Not much has changed at all. But before we talk about the team and everything, man, the moment y'all jump in the chat, you already know. Say what's up in the chat. We read every single chat in the building. We're here to talk about anything and everything Giants related. Or if you want to talk about anything else, man, I'm here to vibe out, man. It's been a little while since I've been live. Definitely missed you guys as far as going live with y'all. And I wish we could just get back to meaningful Giants football. I wish we could. At this rate, we just can't have a win, honestly. As much as we wish for wins earlier, we honestly can't even afford a Giants win. Can't do it. So once again, man, we just here vibing out, going live. Once y'all jump in the chat, man, say what's good in the chat. We're out here talking about anything Giants football, everything like that, man. How's your holidays going? How December been? How's Thanksgiving been? I think Thanksgiving was the last time I went live that week. The week of Thanksgiving was probably the last time I went live. So it's been a while. It's been a little while, man. But we out here. Right now, I got the Ohio State-Tennessee football game turned on. College football playoffs, 12-game format. Things going to be good. Things going to be good for the future of college football for sure. So we out here watching this game. No future Giants quarterbacks participating in this matchup. And our future quarterback is not going to be in the playoffs. Either one of them. Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders will not be in the college football playoffs. That's a bummer. Would have loved to see them play meaningful football this late and see how they execute in these games. But it is what it is. They're still going to be the quarterbacks for this team. Y'all already know the drill, man, as well. Like up the stream once you're in here. Try and push all this content out there. Yeah, make sure y'all liking the stream, my man. We are vibing out. Giants currently sitting at a 2-win record, facing the Atlanta Falcons, facing Michael Penix this upcoming Sunday. So, if the Giants get beat by Michael Penix, should we be ashamed? Should we feel bad? Should we be mad because Michael Penix could have been on this roster? I'm not gonna be that upset, to be honest. I'm not, but it has to be a topic of conversation, man. Michael Penix potentially beating us on a down year where we're going to end up drafting another quarterback might have to end up being a talking point. But yeah, man, it's no joke. I had a nightmare that, and I don't hesitate to say nightmare. I had a dream that the Giants won a game, and how much that really would cost us. A win right now, guys, would cost us literally falling out of the top 3. Right now, we're sitting at 2. Some say we're sitting at 1. But a win would really shift things up for the Giants very badly. Very badly, man. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Tankathon. Once again, man, if you're in the building, say what's up in the chat. Read every single chat out here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this screen real quick. So as you see here, the Giants currently sit. It says number 2. Other people say it's number 1. I'm not here to argue these things. It's 3 weeks left in the NFL season, and anything can happen. But if the Giants were to lose a game, or if the Giants were to win a game, we know they're going to lose a game. If the Giants were to win a game, you can see them fall potentially to 8, 7. because they'd have 3 wins on their record. Their strength of schedule is really what sets it apart. They would be down the ladder. Down the ladder very far, man. A win on Sunday cannot happen. And a win in general for the rest of the season cannot happen. Atlanta starting Michael Penix does worry me a little bit, but I'm not too worried about this matchup. The Colts is a team that I'm worried about because Anthony Richardson's brand of play, it scares me. It scares me in the sense that he could really, mess this whole thing up and potentially throw a bad game against us. Now, a lot of people are out. A lot of people are injured, IR. Bobby Okereke went on IR today. So there's definitely not a lot leaning on the Giants side, but you never know any given Sunday, man. But yeah, this Giants team cannot win a game. And if they win a game, it's going to be super detrimental to the future of what this next year could be with the draft, for everything, man. If the Giants don't end up putting themselves in the top 2 position this year, top 3 position this year, yeah, this one's going to sting. This one's going to sting. We're rooting for the Raiders in every game. The Raiders need to go out and get a dub. They face the Jacksonville Jaguars this week, I believe, and that's going to be probably the closest game the Raiders will be able to win, most likely. So we're going to need that. We got a couple people in the building, man. Let me know, am I lagging? On my screen, it looks like I'm lagging a bit. Y'all let me know, man. Am I lagging out here? Because that can't be happening. During a live stream, I can't change it. Seems like a lagging on my end. I'm not a fan of that. Hopefully, I'm not. But yeah, man, Giants in at 2. Giants sitting at 2. It's crazy because there's really not too much going on in Giants land, which sucks. Honestly, sucks. When you think about year in and year out, we prepare ourselves for the regular season, and the regular season comes, and here we are just hoping for it all to end. Like, not a good feeling. Not a good feeling at all, but hopefully we get back to meaningful Giants football, man, soon. Hopefully we do, but once again, man, we're just here vibing out. Feel free to say whatever you want in the chat. I'm going live, and I need to get back on my consistent schedule, man. This month I had my anniversary, had my birthday this month. Obviously, we know the holidays are around the corner. For us people that are in retail, which I am working retail, for us people that are in retail, hey, this time is like go hard or go home time for us, man. So it's been super busy, but I'm looking to get back on my regularly scheduled program. And once again, man, take me to the offseason. Take me to the offseason. Let's figure out where the Giants are drafting, and let's see who they want. There's rumblings about multiple people. Well, between the 2 quarterbacks. You see a lot of people say they like Shador. You see a lot of people say they like Cam Ward. We've been advocates for both. We've been talking about both these past couple, weeks and months, and we're going to be talking about them for the foreseeable future. We will be. And who knows, when it's all said and done, if the Giants make this selection, we're going to be talking about both of them linked to each other for a very long time. And hopefully the Giants are on the right side of history when it comes to it. But, yeah, man. Take me to the offseason. Take me to the draft. Let's start talking about that. If y'all didn't see my Ayir Asante interview, man, make sure y'all check out Ayir Asante. That interview I posted up. Really insightful. Really dope to be able to talk with him, man. It was super cool. And hopefully more to come, whether it's with Ayir Asante or with another Giants player. It was a really dope conversation. We even talked afterwards, and it was really cool to hear stories about him with the Giants and stuff, man. So make sure y'all check up. Excuse me. Make sure y'all check up that video, man. If you haven't already, I'll make sure to post it in the chat here. Make sure y'all go run that interview up, man. And he also has his own YouTube channel, man. Subscribe over to Ayir TV. Links in the description on that interview. Got to make sure y'all running that thing up, man. Link right there in the chat. Save it. Wait for after the video. Make sure you run up that interview if you haven't already. We went for an hour long, and as y'all know, I don't post too much stuff that's over an hour. We don't do that around here, but we did that interview, and it was really dope, man. It was really dope. For the people that's in here, man, say what's good in the chat. Let me know how your Saturday night is going. Let me know how your Saturday night is going, how we feeling. Whether you're a Giants fan or whether you're not, man, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on this Saturday night. Ohio State has the ball, by the way, in the Ohio State Tennessee game right now. I remember Will Howard was potentially a quarterback that should be coming out this year, and I think, oh my gosh, wow, the receiver almost made a crazy one-handed catch. I think it's Egbuka or something like that. But yeah, Will Howard was mentioned at one point. You don't hear too much about him anymore. There's one thing we have on this thumbnail, man. There's one thing we have on this title, which I don't know why it took me so long to get to this point. There's one thing I wanted to talk about, man. Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. If it's up to me, man, get them both out of here. Get Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen both out of the building. Now, there's reports coming out, and I should be saving this for a video. Maybe I'll cut this and start recording a video. Definitely, I need to give more of a heads up that we're going live either way. But appreciate the people that are in the building. Reports are that Joe Schoen's going to stay and Brian Daboll is going to be gone. Don't like to hear that. Don't like the sound of it. It's either keep both of them or let both of them go. And reports are looking like right now Brian Daboll is going to be the odd man out. Joe Schoen's going to get another retry, and that just doesn't sit right with me, man. I just think personally, I don't think Brian Daboll's the greatest, so I'm not vouching for him to stay. But I just feel like you should clean sweep the house. Let a new GM and let a new face mask. That's the first down. Let a new GM and let a new coach overall make the selection on a new quarterback, man. Do not keep the same GM and let him get the chance to hire a new coach, get his own quarterback. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of that, man. Some people are on Joe Schoen's train. Some people are not. For me, I mean, I'm not the biggest advocate, and I'm also just not rooting for him in general, man. I'm perfectly fine with just moving on. Move on, cut your ties, bring in somebody else. And I know it's been an endless cycle, but that's the other cycle that we don't want to see. When you think about where this team has been in history and where we've been in the last 10 years, right? How many times have we kept the same GM and fired the coach, bring in a new coach, keep the same GM, have no results, and go ahead and I'm over that, man. We can't do that. We can't repeat that cycle. If you're letting Brian Daboll go, man, just go ahead and let Joe Schoen go. And if you're gonna keep one, keep them both. Give them another chance. Give both of them another chance. Let them get their quarterback. And I'm not saying they deserve it, but if you're gonna keep both or one, keep both. I'm not in favor of letting one go and keeping one. Not in favor whatsoever. Not in favor of it, man. But yeah, not too much going on in Giants land, man, right now. Not too much. Wish we had more to talk about. Wish we did, but this point is just take me to the. Go ahead and take me to the offseason, man. Go ahead and take me to the offseason. The only narratives that are kind of around right now, to be honest, is literally just about Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll potentially not being here, and Cam Ward or Shador. Those are the two different narratives, three different narratives right now. That's it. That's all. And even scrolling through Twitter right now, just the energy's not there anymore, man. Like to sit here and think we live on a Saturday night. We got Giants football tomorrow. Ain't nobody want to talk about Giants football. Ain't nobody want to talk about Giants football. As my guy G-Man, I was just scrolling through Twitter. My guy G-Man Galaxy. If you don't know who G-Man Galaxy is, man, go ahead and follow him on Instagram. Follow him on Twitter if you haven't. Let me show this real quick. Pull this up real quick. We got 8 people in the building, man. Say what's good in the chat if you haven't already. Say what's up in the chat. Christmas is in 4 days, and Giants haven't won a game since before Halloween. What a shame. What a shame. See what else is going on in Giants land. Bobby Okereke on IR. We talked on that. Shout out to Talking Giants. Talking Giants goated. Them coming to ATL. We got KT, Isaiah Simmons, Andrew Phillips, and Malik Neighbors. This is the only reason I'm watching Giants football right now, man. Malik Neighbors about to get 1K. 1,000 yards with four quarterbacks is impressive, y'all. 1,000 yards with 4 quarterbacks is impressive. Gonna watch the Giants tomorrow. Says nobody. Says nobody. Evan Neal is allowed, blah, blah, blah. Do you think Evan Neal is starting to turn the corner? Shout out to Fireside Giants. At this point, we're just going through Twitter. Shout out to Fireside Giants. Do you think Evan Neal is finally starting to turn a corner? I'm going to go ahead and say no. Andre, appreciate you, man. Saying what's up in the chat. We're here vibing out, man. I appreciate you for tapping in. He says, I was on the fence about Joe and Dave, but Bobby Skinner's video was too convincing to keep Shane. They all have to go. Yeah, I did peep. I didn't get to watch his whole video, but I did peep his video, and I've been on that same sentiment, man, for a little while. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. I just think there's a lot more. There's been some bad that you can't rule out. There's definitely been some bad that you can't rule out. Let me see. Try to find. I think I made a video about firing. Talking about Joe Shane. Or not. It might have been a live stream, but yeah, I said Brian Daboll is going to be gone soon, and definitely Joe Shane's on that. Mato was good, man. He said Joe Shane needs to stay. Let me know in the chat, man, why Joe Shane needs to stay. Let me know in the chat, man. Why do you think Joe Shane needs to stay? And once you give me your reason, I'll go ahead and give you my or I'll bump that. I'll give my reasoning now. I should go first. Here's why Joe Shane needs to go. And let me sit up. Let me get ready. Let me get ready, man. Here is why Joe Shane needs to go. Joe Shane has constructed this team in the position that they're at. The players that are good on this team weren't even drafted by him. He restructured, or not restructured, but extended the players that obviously were players that you couldn't let go. The Andrew Thomases of the world, Dexter Lawrence. He gave Daniel Jones a contract, who also wasn't drafted by him. He let Saquon Barkley go. And I'm not even gonna hinge on the departures, right? I'm not gonna hinge on the departures. But all in all, when you're building this team, you expect the team to get better, not worse. The team made a playoff run the first year. We know what it was. They were good in one-score games. We know the whole shebang. But to then get significantly worse the following year and then the following year, not good. Especially when you consider, you think that the team got better when you make a couple trades. The trades has been good for Joe Shane. Bobby Skinner talked about it in his video. But you make some trades. You draft some guys that look good. But the first 2 draft classes for Joe Shane, excuse me, first 2 draft classes for Joe Shane is definitely something that you got to look at and just say, hey, this guy is not drafting well. Shout out to Miguel, man. Shane hasn't done enough. Plain and simple. Shout out to Miguel in the chat, man. Appreciate you for tapping in. The first 2 draft classes are not good. They're not good. They're not good. And we'll do this not experiment. We'll do this exercise. Let's go ahead and do it. 2022 Giants draft class. We'll do this experiment, man. 2022 draft class. Just give me I made a whole video where I spoke on it. I put X's. I put draft class. I gotta figure out what I do with that video. That video is definitely up. Oh, these two draft classes right here is the reason why we can't sit here and say that this guy drafts well. These two right here. Now we get active in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all. Shane hasn't provided Daboll with quality players to win games. We don't even have 10 good players to say we have these top 10 players. For sure. Just fire everyone again. I just feel bad for any kid drafted here. They will be undercoached and have no real team around them. That stinks. TP, what's good, my guy? He says, peace, Juke, and chat. What's going on, my guy? TP Way the Giant, man. Make sure you go subscribe to my guy, TP Way the Giant. We went live a couple times together. We're going to have something brewing up soon. And shout out to TP with his spoken word the other day. That video was fire, man. Let's go ahead and pull up the drafts, man. Let's pull it up. We talked about it before. We're here to do it again, man. 2022 draft class. I need to find a way to pull this up a lot more bigger. Let's do this one. Let's do, where is it? Oh, here we go. Let's take this one down. Let's put this one up. All right, right here. Let's go through it. We've done it before. We're going to go through it again. KT at number 5. I would have made that pick. Can't kill him for it. I would have made that pick. KT at number 5. I'm making that pick. Has he panned out to be the number 5 overall pick? He has not. He's underperformed. And he shows flashes. Evan Neal, bust. That's your fault. You picked him. Wan'Dale Robinson, I think we overvalue him a bit. I think he's nice. I think he is, but I think we overvalue him a bit. Josh Azudu, bust of a pick at the 3rd round. Cordell Flott hasn't turned out. Daniel Bellinger, you don't use him. Dane Belton, special teams. Micah McFadden is a bright spot. DJ Davidson, just serviceable. Marcus McKeithen, cut. Darren Beavers, cut. Can't kill them. They're super late, but yeah, that's 2022. Let's do 2023. 2023. Boom. I'll put this thing. I'll throw this one up. Excuse me. 2023. Deonte Banks. It's a bust of a pick. I'm not saying he's a bust because it's worse when it goes bust, but hasn't panned out round 1. John Michael Schmitz, serviceable. Some may argue he's worse than he is. Jalen Hyatt, bust of a pick. You traded up for him in the 3rd round. Eric Gray hasn't panned out. Trey Hawkins, can't kill him as a 6th rounder. 7th rounders, they're special teamers. Can't really kill him for it. But overall, you're in 2 drafts and you're walking away with 2 solid players. 2 to 3 solid players out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks in this one. And we had 10, I believe, in the other one. 2022, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 3 solid players out of, quick math, 17, 18. It's no bueno. That's no bueno. Burns, I said this when you did your video on the Burns trade, and I do recall this, Miguel. Shout out to you. I do recall this on the live stream that we talked about it. We were super excited that he sucked. And I said at the time, Shane paid him $30 million for 8 sacks, and he doesn't make his presence felt enough in the game to justify it. And unfortunately, I feel like Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be a Brian Burns. Like, that's literally what he's going to be. Brian Burns is a little more consistent at rushing the passer than KT. But yeah, I mean, it's been exactly that to the T. In a down season, I mean, there's not a lot to look at and be happy with anyways. But yeah, most definitely. TP, shout out to you. You said, what's worse is when you look at the list and also see who we could have drafted. That's what's even worse, man. That's what's even worse. That's what's even worse. When you think about the other players that could have been there. When you think about, I mean, it's so hard because you can't guarantee that the players that panned out, as I take myself off, it's hard because you can't sit here and feel like these players would have turned out to be great players for us when they're great players for other teams. I look at Joey Porter Jr., man. Joey Porter Jr. for the Steelers. He's been a lot better than Deonte Banks. Different corner, different defense. I understand all of that, but he's been better. When you look at Evan Neal, you can go through everyone else in the first round that class and really just feel like, hey, let's go ahead and pull up the draft class. You bring up a good point, TP. Bring up a good point. Let's bring up the whole 2022 draft class, man. And hindsight's 2020. Hindsight is 2020. But let's do it. Let's do it. We got time, man. We got nothing but time. We ain't talking about the game tomorrow. What game tomorrow? We don't got a game tomorrow. Let's do it, man. All right. Kayvon Thibodeau. We're not stopping this one. Evan Neal was here, right? But who was there? Drake London, who happens to be a star receiver for the Falcons. Charles Cross, he kind of hasn't been too great either. Garrett Wilson. And at the time, you take the tackle, right? Like you take Evan Neal because you need the protection. But when you see the players that could have went, Jameson Williams, I'm not saying there with that. Kyle Hamilton, all pro safety. Dang, Jahan Dotson was drafted so high. Crazy. Washington was not good back then. Kenny Pickett. No, I'm kidding. Trent McDuffie, solid DB out there. Quay Walker, solid linebacker. Kyer Elam, solid corner. Tyler Smith, he's had his moments, but apparently he's solid for the Cowboys. Tyler Linderbaum is someone who I really wanted. Didn't do that. Jermaine Johnson, I think he had a season-ending injury. It's hard to tell with him. Devin Lloyd, I like him at linebacker. Cole Strange was a strange one. George Karlaftis has been more producing than Dexter Lawrence. And we were picking at number 7 with Evan Neal. Let's look at 2023. Split up. We here, man. Let's look at 2023. Where we selected Deonte Banks with the 24th pick. Sucks because I was a big Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison fan. Look back at the videos. I was dropping videos on both of them. We were going to get a wide receiver 1. Good thing we have it now. But we're going to do that with Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison. They get taken in front of us. But we trade up. Dalton Kincaid gets taken after us. I'm not tripping about it. Mozzie Smith, same thing. But Nolan Smith was a guy that we were talking about. And if anyone was in the chat, we went live during the NFL draft. Y'all know that we were talking about Nolan Smith. Hey, go ahead and pick Nolan Smith. Round 2, Joey Porter Jr. We talked about it. Joey Porter Jr. was available. Sam Laporta, solid tight end out there. Michael Mayer, another solid tight end. Jonathan Mingo. I was big on Jonathan Mingo as well. That didn't happen. Ojulari's brother. You get the gist. Just more serviceable players than we have at the moment. And for whatever reason, it doesn't work for us, as always. But you get the gist. You can rest your case. Shane got to go. Yeah. It don't even take too much of a case, honestly. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat right now, though. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Paul, what's good? He said, excuse me. Oh, my gosh. Shane is a joke, and we'll never know what Dave's would have been with the real quarterback. Unfortunately, we will never know. We'll never know because it looks like all signs are pointing to him getting the boot. When you look back at our past linebackers and edge rushers, nobody on our team comes close. We have a team of choir boys, and we need savages. It's just so crazy because after 2022, man, if you told me we would have been like this after 2022 and bump it, I'm putting my mic all in front of my face. I just want to make sure I'm talking straight into the mic. When you think about what 2022 was, man, y'all don't understand, man. I thought we were good. I thought the future was looking so bright. We had the coach of the year. We just made the playoffs. We just added a Darren Waller. We were looking so up, man. And things changed very quickly. Ohio State scored after I took off the game. Of course. But yeah, man, things change very quickly, man. That's an unfortunate thing. And here we are in December, just waiting for the season to end. Joe Schoen got to go with Brian Daboll. But at the end of the day, what do you think John Mara's doing? Yeah, I think we all know what John Mara's going to end up doing. John Mara's going to end up John Mara's literally just going to end up firing Coach Daboll. He's going to fire Coach Daboll and keep Joe Schoen. That's what he's going to end up doing. Sucks to say, but it's just looking likely, man. It is looking likely. When you sit and think about where this team is going to be, are we all in agreement? We got 11 people in here, man. Make sure you say what's up in the chat and make sure y'all answer this question, man. We're all in agreement that we're drafting Shedeur or Cam Ward, right? Is there anybody in here that thinks we're going to trade back? There's no chance of that, in my opinion, but Ward or Sanders? Y'all let me know, man. Ward or Sanders, man. Y'all let me know, man. Let me pull it up. God, I hope if Shane stays, he doesn't double down on KT and re-signs him. Yeah, that's something that's looming too. Are you going to give him that extension? But yeah, Ward or Sanders, y'all. Where do you sit on it? And once again, we just here vibing out. Nothing too crazy, nothing too formal. Y'all let me know. Ward or Sanders? I've been very vocal on both. I'm chilling with both of them. Do I like one more than a little than the other? Honestly, every other day I feel like I flip. Every other day I feel like I flip. Is that Jabari in the chat? Jabari was good, man. Jabari was good. You know, on this Friday night, man. Friday night, Saturday night. If anybody wants to jump on, man, I haven't done this. If anyone wants to jump on, go ahead and jump on, man. Haven't done this before, man. If anyone wants to jump on, man, go ahead and hit that. Go ahead and hit that, man. Jump on. We'll chop it up. We will chop it up. Let me know your thoughts. And let's talk about it in here, man. If anyone wants to join up, man, let me know. Well, shout out to Jabbar, man. He said we got to take one or the other unless we do something in true Giants fashion and win tomorrow. That would be upsetting, man. That would be the worst. The worst. That would be the worst. Juke, who do you think would even take this GM job? I feel like, and this could be the New Yorker in me, and you know, obviously rooting for this team and where we're going to be heading in. The Giants are in a position to get a quarterback. So you're going to pick your own quarterback. The Giants are also in New York. Who wouldn't want to be a part of? You can make the argument there's a lot of people that wouldn't. But who wouldn't want to be a part of potentially turning around the New York Giants? Being the face of turning around the New York Giants is going to be a sought-out job. And unfortunately, it's really down to the owner. I feel like it's really on Mara. Mara's going to be holding this team back for a while. And is he making the football decisions? He's not. But when it comes to stuff like this where you think, hey, let's clean house, for some reason he's going to feel inclined to go ahead and keep a guy like Joe Schoen. He's going to feel inclined to go ahead and keep a guy like Joe Schoen. Excuse me. But yeah, those are the type of things that I feel like our owner does, that it's hard to feel like this team is going to be somewhere, man. It's hard. It's hard to imagine it. Andre says Ward. Cam Ward, I feel like, has a lot of things to like, man. He really does. His arm talent is up there, man. It really is. His arm talent is up there. Once again, man, we got 10 people in here, man. Whoever wants to jump on, talk their talk. Whatever you want to speak on, man. Relating to the Giants, of course. Whatever you want to speak on, man, feel free to jump in. We got to post it up in the chat. But yeah, man, the owner is gonna hold us back. And how could I? Once again, it's been a little while since I've been live, man. Once again, had my anniversary, had my birthday this month, so it's been a lot going on. But how could I be so far from pulling up what's been going on at Giant Stadium? Giants. I'm not gonna say it until we pull it up. Front office is scared of the Sanders brand. That would be very upsetting. That would be very upsetting if that's true. Very upsetting. Mr. Mara, enough. Please fix this dumpster fire. This, I'm not going to lie, man. Definitely worth the money. I didn't do it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I did it. But you cannot sit here and tell me that this was not worth the money, man. Because the amount of attention that's getting in every Giants home game, people just been watching that. There's another home game to go. There's another home game to go. More can happen. Mr. Mara, enough. We won't stop until you fire everyone. I could just leave it. I could just leave it like that. I might as well make this my wallpaper at this point. I can leave it at that, man. I can leave it at that. Mr. Mara, we will not stop until you fire everyone. And that's what the sentiment should be. And it's embarrassing. It is. I'm pretty sure they're finding any way to probably buy out the people that are potentially flying this stuff. But that's the part that we're at, man. That's the point that we're at right now, y'all. That is the point that we're at. That's the point that we're at, man. Once again, man, we got to post it up here. If you feel inclined, jump on the stream. I never done this before. Never done it before. But if you want to jump on, man. TP, appreciate the question. He says, what do you say to the fans that don't want to fire anybody because they want consistency? Man, this is what I got. This is what I got here. But we got my guy Jabari in the building, man. Jabari, what's going on, my guy? What's up with it, man?
Oh, what's up, man? What's up?
Maybe it's not gonna hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can't hear you. Chat, let us know in the chat if you can hear my guy Jabari. I can't hear you right now.
You can't. All right, I'm gonna come back in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Make sure you're checking the microphone and the settings. Sometimes it be tweaking out right there.
Gotcha.
As he jumps back on. But what do you say to the fans that don't want to fire anybody because they want consistency? Oh, maybe it's just me. Hey, TP said he can hear you. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, maybe that was just me. Jump back on, Jabari. And we gonna hear you one way or another. But what do you say to the fans that don't want to fire? What, like, my question to this would be, what consistency? Consistency and losing? That's what gets me. Consistency and losing. Oh, yeah, that probably was me. Yeah, that was my. Hey, Jabari, jump back on, man. I think I had the wrong settings on my output. Yeah. Now it should be good now. Once again, link is there. Feel free. But yeah, man, consistency is crazy. Consistency and losing would be crazy. It really would be. Consistency and losing would be nuts. And overall, once again, I think we reached our breaking point after a season that right now we're 9 losses in a row. Would be crazy. Would be crazy. All right. Let's try it again, man.
Hello. Can you hear me?
There we go. I can hear you.
Got you, man.
What's going on, my guy?
Chilling, man. How's everything with you, bro?
Chilling, man. We talked about getting you on here before. I'm glad we're able to do it now. I was even slacking. I need to be able to do something like this. But yeah, man, go ahead. Let me know your thoughts, man. What how you feeling about the team right now? Let me know where we at, man.
Well, we're just a dumpster fire, but we've always been that. We kind of been, I've been very vocal about how like the moves that we made over, the last couple of years. Never liked it. Never really cared for Daniel Jones, but we still paid him that money. That's the thing that I feel like is really halting us and putting us in a bad place. So it's like once you have a combination of that, then you have, letting Saquon and McKinney walk for nothing. It's just it's just a like mess up after mess up after mess up. So
yeah,
it really is what it is at this point. But we had a chance to do something different, but at this point I'm going for either Shador or Ward. Now I'm gonna be really pissed off if we win tomorrow because
bro, if we win tomorrow, man, I'm telling you, man, I think the whole fan base is gonna be irate. And I mean everyone in the locker room is gonna be hyped, but it would be the worst thing we could do, probably worse than what DeVito did last year, honestly.
Yeah. So it's like if we win tomorrow, so the Falcons, the Falcons aren't in the race with us. So who would be in the top picks for us? It's the Raiders.
Bro, there will be a lot, and let me pull it up here real quick. There will be a lot that honestly changes in terms of that whole top three. Let me pull it back up. I had it up earlier. I'm gonna put it on now. Tankathon, boom, and then we here with it. All right. So right now, at the time being, man, we got the Patriots behind us, Jacksonville, Carolina, Tennessee, and Cleveland. From my understanding, with the way the strength of schedule is, especially with the Giants, we would fall all the way to 7th.
If we,
yeah.
My God,
yeah, it wouldn't be a small fall. It would not be a tiny fall. No, it would be a fall all the way to number 7. That's where the Giants currently sit right now. So if the Giants win any game with these next 3, yeah, you can pretty much kiss Shador or Cam Ward goodbye. And if we find a way to do that, man, yeah, we're talking about a catastrophe, literally a catastrophe.
So if that happens, then what? What do we? I say trade down because,
I'm almost so against it, Jabari, that I don't even want to talk about what we would do. That's how against it I am. But if I'm gonna be realistic, you probably try to take best player available and try to get, because I think there's other, good players in this draft. When you look at what the mock drafts are looking like and where they rank players coming into this draft, the quarterbacks are kind of in the 15, 16s range when you look at like McShay and stuff like that. But there's other players to be had for sure. But while I have you up here, man, let me ask you, does Joe Schoen and Daboll both get fired?
Okay, this is my answer. Joe Schoen got to go, period. I believe that what basically depends on what Daboll's job depends on is, I believe whoever was in that room when we signed Daniel Jones to that contract needs to go. If Daboll was in that room, he got to go. If he wasn't, he can stay because then he needs to have a legit quarterback. But if he chose Daniel Jones, he got to go. He got to go.
Yeah, I personally, and we've been talking about it on these live streams and every week on the videos, man. Losing 9 games in a row is pretty hard to do in the NFL. The NFL is talented, but losing 9 games in a row is sick. And I think we reached we tied the longest losing streak that the Giants have had in a row. So that's crazy. We're making history, but the opposite way. So if we lose out, there's no way I think Daboll's back. And personally, I just think if they're getting rid of Daboll, they got to get rid of Joe Schoen too. There's no reason to keep both. And right now, the rumblings and the reportings are, they feel like Joe Schoen is putting this team in a good direction. I don't see how. I don't know why. And that's what the rumblings are, man. That's what the sources are. That's why everyone's saying that. And honestly, knowing Mara, That's what I can see happening. I could really see Mara just saying Joe Schoen deserves another chance, but I just talked on it. It's the endless cycle, man. When you think about Jerry Reese when he was in here and the coaches that he had, Dave Gettleman had what? Two coaches under him as well. Pat Shermer and Joe Judge. Firing the coach and keeping the GM just doesn't make sense to me. Like this is the guy that hired that coach.
Yeah, it's stupid. And you know, my issue, and this is my issue with the Giants organization and our fan base in general. We don't properly evaluate our team. What the heck do you mean that Joe Shane's putting this team in a better position, or we're looking in the upward trajectory? What are these sources? Who are these? Like, and I guarantee you, these are New York Giant beat reporters. And it's like, why? All offseason, when Daniel Jones was going through during the offseason last year and the season before, what was everyone saying? Oh, he looks good. He looks like he's about to win MVP. He's about to have his Josh Allen year. Well, Josh Allen's good. There's the difference, okay?
Yeah.
So it's like, when are we going to actually evaluate this team correctly so we can make the correct moves versus sitting here and saying, well, no, we can, like, I'm just tired of it. And at one point, when you said that, I'm like, I can't see somebody saying that this team is in a good trajectory, but then I'm like, no, we're a really dumb franchise. I can see a reporter saying that. So
yeah, bro, it's sick. And TP says we better not win another game. This is coming from someone who promotes winning every game. We get absolutely nothing out of winning at this point. Ever since we started losing games and people said this team was bad, I said it's really hard to tank in the NFL. And you don't see it happen because I genuinely believe, bro, these are grown men trying to feed their families. You don't tank in real life. Now that we got this far, yeah, you better do whatever you can to tank, man. You better do whatever you can because there's no reason that this team should be in contention with anything. I mean, winning a game literally does nothing but shake the way the draft board shakes. And TB's going ahead saying, man, we have to stop. This team is past Daniel Jones' play. Coach Daboll is horrible. 100%. 100% he is, man. While I have you up here, Jabari, we spoke on we talked about Daniel Jones a while ago. I remember you in the chat talking about Daniel Jones. Obviously, he ended up getting cut, so we never really got to talk about it. But what do you think sets apart, like, prime example, drafting a Ward or a Sanders? What do you think really, like, changes this team if we do draft them? And I'm not saying you draft them, we're going to be in the playoffs. But overall, like, what do you feel about getting one of those guys?
Well, I feel drafting one of those guys is gonna make Malik Neighbors not want to commit suicide. So it's like that's just because Malik Neighbors goes out there and he looks depressed every single day. He goes out there and it's like when you're star receiver, he was at one point my wide receiver one in fantasy football.
Yeah,
he was that good. And then all of a sudden, it's like he's not getting the ball. He's calling out the quarterback in the postseason and not in the post game conferences and all that. So it's like he's gonna look better, or he's gonna want to play better. And on top of it, our defense isn't going to feel defeated all the time because when you look at even when we played the Eagles, we stopped them a few times. We had a few 3-and-outs. But the offense came on the field and Daniel Jones was spiking the ball on second down. So it's like I feel having the quarterback will make everybody's morale at least be like, okay, we can actually build something around this. But our players have to feel good about a quarterback. And that's why I feel like everyone in the past this year and the past year has been feeling like trash because it's like you want to play well, but then the highest paid player on the team can't show up. So who's really going to show up for that?
Hey, TP brings up a great point here though. And TP, you're probably working, knowing your schedule, man. Not to put you on blast. You're probably working, but if you got time, feel free to jump on, my guy. But he says, didn't he say it wasn't the quarterback? Wasn't he calling out Coach Daboll? And he's talking about Neighbors. Now, Neighbors did go on the record and he said, ask Dabes. Like, there was a lot of times where he was just saying, like, ask Dabes. Like, why didn't I get targeted in the first half? Ask Dabes. And he was throwing him under the bus. Neighbors is definitely, I feel like, the player that you need to involve, and rightfully so, because it's hard to say he's the most talented because when you got Dexter Lawrence on the team, it's hard to say he's the most talented, but he's your best offensive playmaker. And when you can't give him the ball, that's a big problem. Very, very dependent on the quarterback, but also very dependent on the coaching trying to get him the ball. And the first couple weeks, like you said, he was wide receiver 1. Bro, this guy was getting so many targets. He has his little stint with the injuries, and he wasn't the same for a while. So to sit here and really feel like, I mean, luckily, and I still touch on it, Neighbors hitting at 1,000 yards, I feel like it's crazy because we haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since Odell, and we started 4 quarterbacks this season. Or, like, not started, but we've seen 4 quarterbacks play this season. So it would be crazy to see him. But what's your thoughts on that? Instead of quarterback, he was calling out Daboll.
Well, I think wasn't there a time that he was saying in a game where he was kind of saying like they were talking about him not getting the ball, and he was saying like, oh well, Daniel Jones, he's seeing stuff back there, it's hard for him to get off. I'm just running the plays, so
Yeah.
I don't have anything to deal with back there. To me, that's kind of, if it could be, he definitely did throw Daboll underneath the bus, but I definitely believe that I I just believe that I believe Dable throws Daniel Jones under the bus because Dable can't do anything with Daniel Jones playing the way how he was, and you know Dable was throwing tablets and headsets because he was upset at how Daniel Jones was playing. So I feel like maybe it wasn't a direct at Daniel Jones, but everybody knows that's the elephant in the room. When you have a star player, like when you have star players like a Saquon, like well, we didn't have when shoot, in my opinion, I think Daniel Jones put Darren Wall into retirement. So it's like yo, you look at all these things together, we know what the elephant in the room is. Not everyone on the team just automatically sucks once they play with Daniel Jones. He's the problem. So
and everything, and I'm putting you came up here, man. So I'm gonna sit here and question you. People gonna question you, but
absolutely, go ahead.
I'll flip that, right? So Daniel Jones been off the roster for what, 3 weeks now, 4 weeks now,
Yeah.
and this team looks the way it does. It does, right? Like no,
Mhm.
like the instant thought process would be, all right, Daniel Jones gets shipped out, he gets benched. Maybe the team shows a little bit of life. They haven't shown anything, like literally anything since he's been out. So
Mhm.
what do you say to that? Like obviously this team is still losing games, and in my opinion, you lose games with him, you lose games without him. That's why I was so like not moved by him being here. But like, what do you say to that?
Well, one, I wasn't moved about him being here, him being out of here anyway. Well, one, the only reason I was because I wanted us to have a better chance to lose, and I feel
Yep.
like with Daniel Jones gone, we do have a better chance to lose. We are worse without Daniel Jones.
Mm,
He was our best quarterback, but that's not saying too much. And you said, well, there are people who thought, well, once we get rid of Daniel Jones, we'll have a brighter spot. Da 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 da. I wasn't one of those. I always thought this team was garbage, regardless who played quarterback, whether it was Daniel Jones, whether it's me, whether it's Tommy DeVito, whoever. This team was not going to do well. And it's not only because of the quarterback, it's because of how it's built. The team has too many holes that you need a quarterback like a Patrick Mahomes to maybe make it work. You know what I'm
mm,
saying?
yeah.
What's Daniel Jones gonna do? What's Tommy DeVito gonna do? Nothing. So it's like if people were looking at this team to try to compete when we got rid of Daniel Jones, it's I don't know what you guys expected. This is
Yeah, no, that's true. Hey man, and I love once again that we posted it up in here, man. Jabbar, appreciate you for being up here, and
yeah,
if
man.
you're not going nowhere, you're gonna stay up here
Got
because
you.
now we got my guy TP in the building, man. TP,
Oh
what's going
yeah.
on, my guy?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good, man.
All right. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
What's
What's
up,
good,
man? We good.
TP?
We good. What's up with you, man? This Saturday night, what you got going on?
Unfortunately, I am at work, man. I'm
Damn,
just
man, I felt it. I felt it.
Hmm.
But I appreciate you still being able to jump on, man. Appreciate you still being able to jump on a little bit, man. And once again, the chat link is posted up. If you feel free, if you want to jump in, go ahead. But TP, man, what you got in your brain right now, man? How you feeling overall?
I think that Coach Dable and Joe Shane, they did a wonderful job at throwing people in front of the bus and hiding behind other things so that they can put the blame on a lot of other components. And the jig is up. The
Yeah.
jig is absolutely up. You cannot hide behind anybody anymore, and that is why Coach Dable and Coach Shane look the way they are looking right now. They look it's a complete embarrassment, and you can see it on their face. They tried to hide behind Coach Wink. They're trying to hide, but they tried to hide behind Daniel Jones. Now, granted, listen, I am not saying that Daniel Jones was like the greatest quarterback or anything like that. He's definitely had his problems. But my pushback is a good head coach is supposed to put his players in the best position to succeed. And no matter what, that is that the roster is the roster. Where Coach Dable lost me was I don't feel like he did his job as the head coach. He did not put out a scheme that best complemented Daniel Jones's skill set. And that is also why Daniel Jones looked worse than at times than what he really was. If you look at some of those games, Daniel Jones looked pretty good because those schemes fit to his skill set. The game versus the Washington Commanders, game versus the Browns, the game versus Seattle. I mean, I feel my personal opinion is that no matter who is at quarterback, there is never an excuse to be 2-16. And that's why for me, Coach Dable gotta go.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think you painted it perfectly, man. They've been trying to hide behind this stuff the whole time. And once you pull the Daniel Jones plug, it was pretty much, hey, Daniel Jones is the reason. He's gone. Now we're gonna look a lot better. I think you pull that reason for a reason, and we know the whole injury clause. We know about all that stuff. But ultimately, man, you're hinging on, hey, Daniel Jones was the reason. We're shipping him out of here, and we're gonna see what happens with the future of this team. And you see it, bro. I mean, we're still losing games, and I didn't expect to win games. This team is still not there. And the answer to this question is easily going to be Saquon, right? Because I was going to say last year, you saw Tommy DeVito go on a 3-game win streak. We can't even, I feel like we're not competitive in these games right now. And one of them, we kind of look decently competitive, but we're pretty much not. And you can argue, hey, maybe Saquon helped out DeVito, and that's why DeVito won games, blah, 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 blah. But DeVito won games last year. And this year, you're not seeing it. And you added Malik Neighbors, and the offensive line is better. You could argue Tyrone Tracy's been just as good. Like you can make those arguments, and this team is like way far off. And for me, I talked on it, and Jabari, you can pick up on it next. Brian Daboll, in my opinion, you're the offensive guru that you are, and right now we're the worst offense in the league. After last year having, guess what, the worst offense in the league. So, I mean, the offensive guru that you are, the quarterback, whisperer that you are, that's where we're at right now, man. Jabari, what you got to say to that, man?
I think that you only can play chess as well as the pieces that you have on the board. So if let's say I'm playing chess against one of you and I don't have a queen and a rook, but you start the game with 3 queens, you have an advantage. You know what I'm saying? I believe that once we play with a guy like Daniel Jones, he's just not the answer. He's never, and yeah, I get it. He's had flashes, and that's what everybody says. He's had flashes of being good, but against the Cowboys when it matters, he sucks. Against the Eagles, we don't compete. Against the Washington, we're losing to them. It's like after a
But
certain
didn't Daniel
point,
Jones look good versus Washington?
he threw a couple of touchdowns. That is true, but Washington isn't they're just starting to get like good, and then on top of it, what does Daniel Jones do against the Eagles when it really matters in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about like that one season where he what was it, 2022 or 20, like a couple years
20,
ago.
yeah, 2022.
Yeah, when he looked all right, it's like that was like what is Daniel Jones' peak? His peak is he's an okay quarterback, might win you a playoff game if you're not playing against a really competitive team. But once you play against the teams that are actually competitive, you get slapped. And it's
Gotta disagree with that one because
interesting.
his peak is record breaking. I
His peak
mean,
is what?
His
I'm
peak,
sorry, you said record breaking.
yes, his peak is record breaking. You know, we've seen him in the playoffs for Minnesota. I mean, to me, his peak was when he played that game in the playoffs, and he did what a lot of quarterbacks that they crown and they appreciate haven't done. He put up that performance alone was a record breaking performance. No one has ever in the playoffs put up the stats that he did, and he single handedly put the team on his back. So that's his peak. And I
what
just
you're talking about when he played against Minnesota?
yeah,
Okay, so Minnesota's one considered playoff frauds. That's number one. And then number two, that's cool. We could beat, and this was kind of my issue with that season. When Daniel Jones, when we made the playoffs that season and we won 9 games, 7 of those teams didn't even make the playoffs. So we're beating on bad teams to make the playoffs. And then we make the playoffs and we beat a bad team. But then once we play the Eagles or once we play a team that's actually a contender, we get washed. This is that's the
well,
thing that I'm talking about.
I have pushback to that
Okay.
because my pushback to that is one is we played the Vikings wasn't a bad team. Matter of fact, that year there was conversations on if they could go undefeated because what did they win, what, like 11 games or something like that.
Yeah, I think they won 11, 12 games, and the
And-
craziest part was is that they won a lot of one score games, kind of like us. They were
right,
winning a lot of one score games.
right. And my thing is when it comes to the NFL, I don't even like to. The truth of the matter is, you got to beat the teams that is in front of you, and we could compare it to this season. I mean, we could say that there are a lot of bad teams that we've played, or even average teams if we're going off of teams that are not going to make the playoffs, but we haven't beat them, and so that pretty much is the main difference. It is. Trust me, it is really easy to point the finger at Daniel Jones, and he definitely deserves a blame. I'm not saying that he definitely deserves the blame. But when we look at the coaching scheme, like think about it now, we have seen Drew Lock win games at other places. Why is Drew Lock looking incompetent now? Like we can only put up 7 points, and if it's a really good day, we can put up two touchdowns, and that's a really good day in our book.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because Drew Lock never played for a team that their highest paid player was an overrated quarterback that they ended up cutting and paid him $40 million a year. That's the reason why.
Isn't Malik Neighbors the guy?
He is, but you
Isn't
can't. But you can't.
isn't
You
Tyrone
can't.
Tracy leading rookie
Yes,
rushing?
yes, but you can't build a team around a player paying somebody $40 million a year and then cut him. That's not. You can't build a
But
team like that.
we're talking about money, but what does that have to do with the product that is on the field?
The cap space. If let's say I pay Daniel Jones $40 million a year, that means that I can't build the offensive line. That means I can't get that cornerback that we need, or that defensive lineman that we so desperately need. Apparently, we can't get that. We have to then cut Daniel Jones or trade Leonard Williams or get rid of these players so that we make cap space to pay this. How much money? What's the debt cap on how much we lost from Daniel Jones from that cap space? How much?
I know next year's 25, but his cap hit this year was in the 40s. It was like 48 or something
Okay.
like that this year.
Okay, $48 million could have went to another player, but instead it went to a player that we ended up cutting.
But this is my argument. My argument is with the roster that we have this year, we
Hmm.
cannot blame it on the offensive line this year. Like, yes, we lack depth, and yes, there are other pieces that we need to get on this team to be the team that we want to be. But that is no excuse for us to look as elementary as we look. I've seen worse rosters do a lot more than what we're doing. And to me, the only answer to that is coaching.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year's team was worse than this year's team, and it's
Sure.
crazy to see that.
For
I think
sure.
100% was, and we're sitting here with 2 wins, and obviously, once again, I think if Daniel Jones was on this team, does he beat some of the teams that were playing down this stretch? We might,
Wait,
maybe, we
you
might
think
lose.
you think last year's team was worse than this year's team
Yeah. Oh,
in
For
talent-wise,
terms
sure.
of?
For
talent-wise,
sure.
I believe so. I know
Now,
Saquon's not here and X is not here, which is two big pieces.
and the offensive
Huge,
line.
two huge pieces, X and Saquon being gone. But when you think about the offensive line improved, when you think about we added Malik Neighbors to his wide receiver room, when last year, I mean, it was Darius Slayton, Wandale, and I mean, Jalen
Okay,
Hyatt, and we know Jalen Hyatt. When you think
yeah,
about the defensive line, adding a Brian Burns, like this team added pieces to, I think, core positions that you expected, hey, we should
all
be all
right,
right. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, I
we
got
lost
you.
Saquon.
Mhm.
Tyrone Tracy's about to put up 1,000 scrimmage yards. Who would have guessed that Tyrone Tracy, trust me, I mean, we were excited with him. And I just want to give
Mhm.
everyone a flashback. Remember in the offseason when he broke his ankle, we thought he was done, and then he came back. But think about how distraught we were, and then look at the player he's turning into. Like, we were able to replace that production. Safety, we did not replace at all. I mean, what X is doing outside, Tyler Newbin wasn't able to fill that this year, and it's still young. But ultimately, I just think at certain positions, this team got better, and the production on the field is worse, which is crazy.
Yeah, and I know even uh T-Way even was talking about the coaching scheme, and you know, and I get it. The coaching, our team, coaching wise and scheme wise, we look awful. But another thing that I would say is, you know, I think our coaching and scheming is limited due to our quarterback. You know, we can't run like an offense like the Buffalo Bills. We can't run, an offense like the Chiefs or like the really good successful teams because Daniel Jones is never that talented. He can't even pick up, he can't even read basic coverages. Dan Orlovsky did a whole report on him, like, yo, and it was against Seattle when we had like 11 when he gave up like 11 sacks and like six of them were straight on Daniel Jones. It's like, I
I got a question to what you said earlier.
mm.
So how was it that Malik Neighbors was all that he was? And even you said he was your number one receiver on fantasy. How
Oh,
did that
because he got
help?
like 18 targets a game.
And I mean, but who threw him? That's a good game plan. That I mean, he's your number one receiver. You don't fix it unless it's broken. I mean,
Hmm.
Yeah,
who got him the ball?
I mean Daniel Jones, but it's really easy to hit people for screen passes and slant routes all day.
But that's not all he did. We discredited him now. He did a little more than that.
Yeah, hey, TP,
Mm,
hey, TP saw to this date Malik Neighbors' best game. Maybe
That's
not yardage wise, but he saw his best game in person. I will say that TP did. He was there in the flesh. I do remember that.
Listen, he definitely has had some go routes, but you even see like you and even with okay, let's say Malik Neighbors is having a great fantasy season for me. That's great. It doesn't lead to touchdowns. It doesn't lead to wins. It doesn't lead to us getting into the end zone. And that's the biggest
and I'm
problem.
glad
And
you
to
said that.
go
I'm
ahead.
glad you said that because let's really break down why we're not getting in, why we weren't getting in the end zone. Because for one, I know that there were a lot of plays being called back due to penalties. And when I think of penalties, I think that's a coaching error. Because why
Hmm.
consistently, why is this happening? How many times have we watched our team play and there has been a legal man downfield? We haven't fixed that yet. Um,
Absolutely.
why in the versus the Cowboy game, it's fourth and short in the red zone. Why are we not going for it on fourth down?
Mhm.
You know, why is our red zone play calling so trash? You know, like
Yeah.
there's just certain things. Why do we have receivers leading the league in drops? Why do we have a fumbling issue? So like there's just certain things outside of the quarterback position,
Hmm.
which also at the end of the day starts and ends with coaching that you have to consider because this is a development problem at this point.
Yeah. I could definitely I can see both sides to it. And even Jabari for your sake, like I understand what you're talking about when it comes to Dan Jones. Trust me, I perfectly understand it.
Yeah.
I think when we all, and I think I'm talking about, you think of the picture, Bloods and Crips tying the flags together. I think we all stood there after seeing what happened with the flea flicker. I think everyone collided and said, "Hey, man, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time." That is the first time. And honestly, when I think I had TP, I think I was live with you the following week or something like that. I don't remember what it was, the time frame was, but I remember showing him that play. And I was expecting the rebuttal. I really was. And TP said, "No, that was bad." And that's when I feel like, all right, we can all agree it's just is time. And Daniel Jones, hopefully, you know, with Minnesota, who knows, man? Is he gonna be Sam Darnold-esque? Which is, if you asked me this before week one, I know y'all were peeping. I was live with Vocal Vike and we were talking about, and I'm like, yo, we can't lose to Sam Darnold. And I mean, look at them. They might be the number one seed in the NFC, man. Like, hopefully DJ picks up shots somewhere else, man. Hopefully, either way, he's gonna be all right for a little while. I mean,
And
he's
mind you, that's a quarterback we could have drafted too. And in my opinion, we should have.
yeah. We took
Sam
we took
Darnold?
Saquon though. We took Saquon.
Sagan, in my opinion, okay, I know this is a controversial take in terms of Giant fans. I definitely do not think we should have drafted Saquon that year. I feel like in my opinion, and I said it when we took him. I thought we wasted a number 2 overall pick. You can't pick that high and then just throw it away. In my opinion.
Well, what you laughing about, TV?
Why do we consider that throwing away? That's Saquon Barkley that we talking about. Now, granted, I mean, okay, I hear what you're saying. Maybe in hindsight, maybe there was a better pick, but this is Saquon Barkley. We didn't throw it away. Now,
Yeah.
we didn't set him up to succeed. You know, we didn't build around him. So I understand. But when I hear throw away, I'm thinking that's more of who could I compare? Like, you know, more
Like
of like
drafting Evan Neal or something.
exactly.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a bust. I would never say Saquon Barkley is a bust. I'm not stupid. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is where we were at the time. We were 3-13. We had the number 2 overall pick. You had Sam Darnold, you had Josh Allen, you had Lamar Jackson there. And mind you, let's say you didn't want a quarterback. You had Quentin Nelson over there. You had a bunch of different players there. And if let's say like, and I feel like my biggest thing is, if let's do you think Dave Gettleman even tried to scout anybody else outside of a running back that draft?
Definitely not. No, definitely
That's
not.
my point.
It
That's
was
my
that.
point.
Nah, yeah, it was that.
His mind was already set.
I think it because I'm not gonna lie. I was happy that we got Saquon.
Me too.
I think at certain points, you know, when in the draft, you have to say, you know what, let's just get the best player. And I think that's really what happened. Now, the players that you mentioned, right? Because a lot of this is in hindsight. But if we could go back and try to remember, okay, Lamar Jackson, everybody was carrying Lamar Jackson. You know, they felt that at one point he would be a receiver. And even when he got to the Ravens, he wasn't starting. You know, it just the opportunity presented himself, and then he became who he became. You know, even with a Josh Allen. Josh Allen wasn't even one of the bigger name guys that you necessarily knew that he was going to be who he is. And Sam
Mhm.
Darnold, I'm still not sold on Sam Darnold. Like he's doing his thing. Don't get me wrong. But there is no world where I'm picking Sam Darnold over Saquon.
He's in one of the best situations, I will say. And
Yeah.
so I'll take two things away for this. First of all, or three things. First of all, make sure y'all subscribe to my guy TP. We got the link right here. We got the link in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to TP if you haven't already. That's first. Number 2. So with this logic, TP, I see what you're saying. You want the Giants to draft Carson Beck because you never know what he can turn into.
Hold on. What?
And I'm joking. I'm joking with that. I'm joking with that part. I'm joking with that part. That's all I'm saying. But number 3, man, and somebody said this on Twitter, and obviously Twitter's a wild place, but honestly, I saw this. I said, yo, that makes perfect sense. I was in high school when Saquon Barkley got drafted. I wanted Saquon. He was the flashy player, right? And someone said, all right, now imagine the Giants are sitting at number 2 and they draft Genty.
Right. How pissed would you be?
When they said that, he said, yeah, you see how crazy that feels? That's what it was when Saquon got drafted. When he said that, I said, hey, huh?
In this draft class?
And obviously I think in any draft class, but yeah, I guess specifically this one too, in number 2.
But hold on, you know what? But before even that step, imagine having the number 2 overall pick this year and not even scouting a quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's different. It's way different. It's many different variables because Saquon Barkley in that time, right? To me, he was clearly the best player, clearly, and I don't think that anybody else came close. If now in this draft, Shador, I'm on a campaign right now to get Shador. I think he's the guy. I think there's a few players who you can put up there as far as who can be the best. You got Shador, you got Cam Ward, you got Travis Hunter. These are all names that is arguably can be the best. So Genty is also another one that you can name the best, but I think it's different because it's not just Genty by himself.
Yeah. Here we got the 2018 draft class right here, man. And I mean, look at us, December 21st. I mean, we're sitting here to talk about this, but why not, man? We ain't talking about this matchup tomorrow. We're not talking about this matchup tomorrow. But if you don't see it there, man, you got Quentin Nelson taken after. I remember that everyone's saying to draft Quentin Nelson or trade back and take Quentin Nelson, the guard. Denzel Ward taken after. Sam Darnold was obviously taken after. Josh Allen at 7. Roquan Smith, Mike McGlinchey, Josh Rosen. There was a lot of people big on Josh Rosen back then. Minka Fitzpatrick, Vita Vea. So there's players there, right? And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, hey, you draft one of these at 2 and would have been a lot better off. But
but let me ask y'all. I'm glad you pulled this up because this is perfect. Let me ask y'all, at that time, right? Who are y'all picking over Saquon Barkley
Sam Darnold.
Oh, that is a take right there. You will go
Sam Darnold. I will go. I don't care. Put me on ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, everybody. I am taking Sam Darnold 1,000 times, 100,000 times over Saquon Barkley, and it's not because of skill.
Oh my God.
It is because we were 3-13. What is a running back going to do?
Hey,
He did a lot for us.
Really?
He did more for us than Sam Darnold could ever do for us.
He did a lot for us.
Didn't people say that he was our offense? Didn't he make a name for us?
Yeah. And didn't we have one of the worst offenses in the league?
You think that's going to change with Sam Darnold?
I believe so. I believe if you have a better quarterback and if you don't have Eli Manning playing like garbage towards the end of his career, and you don't have Daniel Jones playing like garbage throughout his career, maybe Odell Beckham looks better. Maybe if Sam Darnold is throwing to an in-prime Odell Beckham Jr., an in-prime Sterling Shepard, an in-prime Evan Ingram, maybe we could actually be good.
Yo, it wasn't until 2 seconds ago till I realized that you were serious. Like,
I'm very serious. I am very serious. I'm very serious. Very, very serious.
The only thing I can say, and I think in essence, the whole like the philosophy that Jabari's saying does make sense. And what TP is saying is Sam Darnold wasn't the right one. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he's saying. But the philosophy that Jabari you're speaking on, you draft the quarterback instead of running back, is what you're saying.
Right.
Like, you're not saying
right.
Sam Darnold would have been good. You know, like, you're not even saying he would have been great.
Okay, if let's say we didn't take Sam Darnold. Let's say we took Josh Allen, or let's say we took fucking oh excuse me. Let's say we took what's his name? If let's say we took Lamar Jackson, one of those three. It is what it is. I'm cool with one of those three. The problem is we didn't even try. We didn't even scout. We didn't even look at a quarterback because we were so set on taking a running back.
Hmm.
So any one of those three, I would take over Saquon because of where we were. It doesn't help our team. It didn't help our team to take, and it showed because we won one playoff game. We've
Well,
been to the playoffs. How many times has Saquon been to the playoffs with us?
Yeah, once.
Yeah.
well, who's not going to take Saquon Barkley and Odell Beckham on the same team? I mean, I think it's easy to say that in hindsight. Again, we can look back at things and say, you know what, we did not have the roster to get a running back like Saquon because we didn't have the offensive line set. But if you think about just the offensive firepower that we had, you have Odell Beckham, who is still Odell. He still was like really good. And then you have Saquon Barkley as well. I mean,
Yeah. And wasn't the longest touchdown that Saquon caught that season was from Odell, not even from the actual quarterback?
but that makes my point even more valid because that's the two-man tandem that is more on what they can do together.
Oh, so you're banking on the wide receiver throwing it to the running back
No,
versus getting a
I'm banking on the ability by both players that the possibilities are endless.
Hey, at that time, man, at that time, I definitely think once again, like I was in high school. I like the flashy player. The flashy player was Saquon Barkley. What I'm really interested in, and whatever, I mean, we're never going to be able to find out if Sam Darnold goes one, because it really was a question: is Sam Darnold going to go one or Baker? If Sam Darnold goes one, I really wonder: do we take Baker or do we take
Hmm.
Saquon? Like, what would Dave Gettleman have done? And I don't know. Maybe it would have still been the same pick and just take Saquon. But I mean, Baker Mayfield was a Heisman winner that year. I mean, if he's available at 2 and you still take Saquon, it's just like, holy crap. Like, it don't matter who was up there, bro. Saquon and Dave Gettleman obviously is known for, hey, one day he's gonna put on a gold jacket. You know, he's a gift from God. You know, Dave Gettleman was not shy on Saquon, but yeah, man. While I have you up here, TP, and you touched on it a little bit, man. And I'll bring it back up here. Ward or Sanders, you said Sanders is your guy. Go ahead and let us know. Give us a little sneak peek. And once again, man, if y'all want to hear more from TP, y'all go to his YouTube channel, subscribe over. We're definitely going to continue to work with each other, I think. But let me know, man. Why Sanders?
Shador for sure. I mean, to me, he is the 1A of the situation. If we get Ward, I'm not upset about it because he's 1B. But I think Shador is the guy for many reasons. But just to be like quick, let's just speak about who Shador is, like even off the field. Like Shador was literally made for this marriage. Like Shador is Coach Prime's son, and he is somebody whose play is even better under the lights rather than being the opposite of the deer in the headlights thing or not showing up. He is the complete opposite. He is somebody who was made for this. He was made for the big market. And then on top of that, I think that he is somebody who is a super smart quarterback. He can lead this young group. And when I say young group, I want y'all to understand that when you are a younger caliber, you understand things that the older guys or people who don't come from the same culture may not understand. So he will be able to speak a language that the whole locker room will be able to comprehend. And then, last but not least, he's bringing the sauce. Like, when is the last time we had a quarterback that had the amount of sauce that Shador is going to bring? And my hot take is he is going to be the one. If Shador comes to New York, he's going to be one of the biggest New York athletes of all time. Of all time, like he is going to be just uh, one of when you think of New York sports, he's going to be one of the faces, man. Like it's going to be Jay-Z, and then right under Jay-Z is Shador. Like that's why I'm with him.
Yeah, man. Before we touch on that, I think Jabari slid out of here. Oh, my phone started glitching. Great seeing you. First of all, hey Jabari, all I gotta say is I remember one time you talked about starting your channel, man. Go ahead and start your channel, boss. Go ahead and start your channel. That's all I gotta say. Appreciate you for tapping in, though. Appreciate you for jumping on. We're gonna do this a lot more often. Yeah, like you were saying, man, this whole talk that was talking about, hey, Sanders does not want to be in New York. Get that mess out of here, man. I never believed that from the jump. And obviously, Dion went on and said, he's not moving out of there. And if the Giants are up there, they're going to take him. Dion's been very vocal about that now. And I made a video where I was saying, hey, Dion is low-key on you because he's the one that went out and said, my boys are going to play in certain markets. So that's why the whole speculation started. But yeah, Sanders not wanting to be in New York was not a true thing. And everything you said, I agree with, man. I think Dion's been coaching his kids since a young age. He's been in the limelight since a young age, coming up being Deion Sanders, arguably one of the greatest football players to play. Son, let alone playing the quarterback position, which is the hardest quarterback position or position in all of sports. So I would love for him to be in New York. And if you ask me from week one of the college football, and now we're in the playoffs, but week one, I was on Cam Ward. I was saying, hey, Cam Ward, man, what he's doing right now is crazy. But slowly but surely, I felt like Shador was making plays and doing certain things that I was like, hey, like Shador would not be bad to have over here either. Especially considering I think the biggest thing, and I think we're all kind of coming to this consensus, and some people might disagree. Shador Sanders' floor, I think, is higher than Cam Ward's floor, and I think Cam Ward's ceiling is higher than Sanders' ceiling. Some might feel like the ceiling thing is different, but I feel like Shador is more pro-ready, footwork, cleaning the pocket. He's a lot more of that than Cam Ward right now. But Cam Ward's arm and the throws that he's able to make, man, I mean, I would love to see that in Giants blue. Like, I think we're in a position, I hope we get the number one pick and we pick whoever we want, but you're hearing rumblings about both right now. So,
yeah. I mean, you hit it on the head, man. I'm loving the content that's being pushed out by him and his family. Just him kind of, teasing everybody with the visits to NYC and throwing the ball with neighbors and the whole nine.
So yeah, you were smiling watching that. Yeah,
Yup.
I'm 100% on that. The only problem is, and I spoke on it in my video that I made when he slid to New York, man. Just don't. One, the Giants need to have the number one overall pick because I think if the Raiders are number one, Shador's going to the Raiders, I think. But don't let this be the situation where we've seen, rookies or team players coming into the draft that, wear a Giants merch or talk about the Giants and talk about liking the Giants as they grew up, and then we don't get the chance to draft them. And I said it in the video, but if y'all don't know who I'm speaking on, it was A.J. Brown in his Giants tee. A.J. Brown was rocking a Giants tee, and we end up passing on him. A.J. Brown is obviously one of the top freaking receivers in the league. Yeah. But don't let it be a situation like that, man. I think, obviously, we drafted Saquon, but I think Saquon was also rocking some Giants stuff too. And I'm speaking on this because Shador playing catch with neighbors, showing the Giants ball to the camera. Like, come on, man. Like, if we don't end up getting this guy, someone's going to be upset, and that's going to be me, man.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to be upset. I'll be at the draft because it's not too far from where I'm at.
We talked about that, man. Yeah.
So I'm going to be wearing my, maybe a Shador pick on the front and a Cam Ward on the back, just in case. But
that's a great idea. That's gonna be good content to post. We talked about that before. I forgot. Yeah. Paul saying, if I were Ward or Sanders, I will pull an Eli and let Mara know this team is trash and they will not ruin the futures with this team. Hey, Paul, who knows? Maybe they're the ones that's ordering the planes to fly over. You never know, man. Once again, man, make sure you subscribe to my guy TP if you haven't already. Not too much to talk about in Giants land right now, but guess what? My guy's over here spitting out spoken words and that video was fired. TP, that video was fired, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
How long that took you, if you don't mind me asking? How long that took you to bring that together?
man, if maybe 10 minutes. For some reason, I don't know why my brain, like, it always tells myself to just rhyme things together. And I was literally what I'm doing now here at work. And I literally did like a thinking process of just putting a couple lines together. And I was like, you know what? I should do this. Like, I should just, go ahead and put it out there. But
Yeah, nah, it was fire, bro. I think it was fire. I liked it, and I think everything you hit was on the nail of the head. It was funny too. It was funny, but yeah,
yeah, I was hoping that people could get a little laugh out of it.
Yeah, nah, it was definitely fire, man. Once again, subscribe to my guy TP if you haven't already, man. TP, appreciate you for jumping on, and we'll talk soon, but definitely,
Yeah,
if you don't get the chance to, happy holidays to you and your family, man. Definitely enjoy that, and the one that's on the way. Shout out to you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, bro.
All right, buddy. We'll tap in.
See.
All right, man. Well, that's gonna wrap it up. I appreciate everyone that's been on this live stream, and once again, man, I gotta do this more often. We'll throw up the link. Let y'all join in, say our pieces. Once again, shout out to Jabari for jumping on, man. Jabari, if you're still in the chat, shout out to you, man. And once again, go ahead and start up that channel, man. Go ahead and start up that channel. But once again, man, appreciate y'all for tapping in. It's been a little while since I've been live, but thank y'all for rocking with me. And we got more videos coming through. The Giants play football tomorrow. There won't be a video tomorrow because I do work. But the following, we'll have a video talking about the game and 2 more games to go. Still 3, but 2 more games to go. Paul, real quick, saying LMAO Juke. I'll bet Dion bought the planes. Maybe he could tell Mara that this team sucks. That's one way to send a message. And we know prime time, man. We know prime time. So, yeah, man. Shout out to y'all, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay tuned this week for more videos. I'll catch y'all. Peace.